Welcome to The Grind. Before we get started on this episode, if you could take just a second and like us, subscribe to us, or follow us on whatever social media platform you haven't yet, we would greatly appreciate it. And we're also available on all the major podcast platforms. Now here's your host, Dominic Parisi.
Thank you, JB. So tonight we have another special guest for you guys. But before we introduce him, let me tell you a little bit about his career. So this mountaineer attended Mount Tabor High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, right down the mountain. He was a two-time state champion with a 146-27 career record and a 46-0 record as a senior. He was a senior national All-American, 4-year letter winner in wrestling, and 2-year letter winner in football. While attending App State University as a freshman, he qualified for the NCAA championships at the 184-pound weight class, finishing second in the Southern Conference tournament. His sophomore year, despite suffering a season-ending injury, he started the season with 6 straight wins and took second at the Keystone Classic. 3 of those wins were over top 25 ranked opponents. This ended up being his medical redshirt year. His redshirt sophomore year, he was named SoCon Wrestler of the Year, the 5th Mountaineer to ever earn this honor. He started off the season first place at the Michigan State Open, another second place finish at the Keystone Classic, rolled off 15 straight victories and capturing a Southern Conference title, qualifying for the NCAAs again, and finished the season ranked number 19 in the country. His redshirt junior year, he posted a 33-8 record, won his second SoCon title and 3rd NCAA championship appearance, twice named SoCon Wrestler of the Week, finishing the year ranked number 19th again. In his redshirt senior year, most know the outcome. He posted the second most wins in program history with 38 wins. He won his third SoCon tournament title, winning the Most Outstanding Wrestler award. He earned All-American honors after finishing 3rd place at the NCAA championships in St. Louis, knocking off the top seeds in his weight class along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, most of you know him. Welcome Austin Trotman to Behind the Mat. Austin, you there? Can you hear me?
What's up?
Knew that was coming. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing good. Living good, eating good. I can't complain, man. How you doing? Out here hosting podcasts now? You've grown up, boy.
Yeah, I saw you woofing down a plate of food pretty quick before we got on.
Hey, man, you got to eat when you got to eat.
Yeah, you do. Well, all right, let's get started here. Let's let people know some stuff about you that they don't know. Let's backtrack before your wrestling career in high school. What were you doing that most people don't know about maybe? Were you in other sports? Go ahead and elaborate on that.
Yeah, in high school, man, I was dabbling in a lot of stuff in high school. I actually played lacrosse one year in high school, and that didn't last very long. Wasn't that good. There's a reason I don't play any ball sports, with the exception of one that I do now, which I'm also not that good in. But I'm not very ball sport savvy. So lacrosse didn't last very long. What people don't know about me, I skateboard. I feel like most all my friends know that I skateboard. I still do it now. It's probably the one thing I love most. After I'm done wrestling or competing or anything, I'll probably still have skating, and it's almost like a drug, man. I can't live without it. It just puts me in a better place. It's awesome. I love doing it. Outside of sports, I play guitar. I kind of own a guitar now. I hadn't played in like 3 or 4 weeks, but I like playing guitar, man. It's fun. It's peaceful. It's kind of nice to be able to hear something and be like, I want to learn how to play that, and just go and learn how to play that. So having that has been kind of fun. That's like a nice little stress reliever. So maybe me not playing means I'm not very stressed. I don't know. Take that however you want.
Can understand that. Yeah, I knew you were going to throw skateboarding in there. We watched about, I don't know, hundreds of hours of skateboard videos while we were living together.
I mean, I can't help it, man. It's just the best thing ever. I mean,
yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it, man. How did you get started in wrestling? What year in high school was your first year starting to learn the sport of wrestling? Go ahead and elaborate on your high school career year by year.
Yeah, man. So I've been playing football, I guess, since I was 7 or 8 years old. I had the Pop Warner Leagues in Winston-Salem, North
Yeah.
Carolina. I played in the Pop Warner Leagues for a few years, man. And so obviously when ninth grade, I was a rising ninth grader. The first thing I did, what my dad did was take me to the high school, got plugged in with the weightlifting program. So I was able to, right before high school started, that summer going into your ninth grade year, I was working out with the football team, doing some liftings, doing some practices and football practices. And, it was fun. Fast forward a little bit, school started. You had the option of taking weightlifting as a gym class. And the weightlifting coach was also the high school coach. His name was Jason Hooker. He was he was a wrestling coach, my head coach in high school, and I didn't know it at the time. I mean, I'm just over here just shooting around, just talking to him. He's like, "Man, yeah, I plan on wrestling. That sounds like fun." He's like, "You do really?" And I'm the wrestling coach. And sure enough, that's what
That's what
it
got you
started.
into it?
Yeah. So I mean, I finished out the football year. So I think the first time I stepped on the mat was November of 2006. I was 15 years old, 14 or 15, something like that. That was the first time I stepped on the mat. And
What?
to my knowledge, or I guess lack of knowledge, there has been like wrestling going on in North Carolina since your youth. I mean, people were doing this in middle school and elementary school. I had no
Yeah.
idea. I mean, I guess wrestling's not too popular in Winston-Salem because I had no idea that it was going on until I got to high school. That's when I first got plugged into it. And I enjoyed it so much, even though I got my butt kicked. And I remember my freshman record on the varsity team, it was 3-8. And I remember that and thinking, all right, I want to do this now. So told my dad, summer is the summertime going into my sophomore year. My dad's asking me, so you want to do this? Let's go get some new cleats. You want to go do that? And I told him, it's like, man, you know what? I've been kind of thinking I should just focus on wrestling. I really want to do that. I'm not that good at it. I feel like I got a better career doing that than anything else. So I'm going to do that. And then, that look of like disappointment, like
Yeah.
usually, like, and usually the other way around, like when you get in trouble and your dad just looks at you like, oh my gosh, out of all things you could have done, this is what you did. I felt like I was getting that towards quitting football, right? Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't upset with me, but it was one of those, man, I really enjoyed watching you play, and now you're not doing that. And hands down, my dad's my biggest supporter.
Right.
And it came from me stepping off the field and him giving me great advice about football to all him telling me to do is make sure my shoes were tied. He knew nothing about wrestling, right? So, it was a cool little transition. And after that, I was hooked, man. Like I didn't really focus on any other sports after that. Wrestling was all it was. It's all I wanted to do.
And what year was it? What year in high school again was it that you first got introduced to the sport of wrestling?
I was in ninth grade, my freshman year. It was just
Wow.
halfway through that first semester.
Yeah, and so I mean that's for those that don't know, a lot of wrestlers start in their youth, and for someone who just starts wrestling in ninth grade and then takes it all the way to the highest level of college wrestling, becomes an All-American, that's a huge accomplishment. Also being homegrown, North Carolina native, and going to a North Carolina school, that's awesome, man. So you were Coach Bentley's first recruiting class, correct?
That is correct. He was the head assistant coach. I believe 2006, 2007 was his first year. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was his first year. That was my senior year, and he brought on a handful of freshmen, high school seniors, and we were his first recruiting class. That's right.
Heck yeah. Well, describe your style of wrestling. Give us your style of wrestling.
So here's the thing.
Lay it on me, man. Throw it on me.
In my mind, I think I am just very technical. I feel like I can play the chess match. But when I look at it on film, it just looks like I'm just running over people. So if I had to describe it in one word, I would say aggressive.
Aggressive.
I think that obviously it helps to be strong, and that was something that was always no pun intended, a strength for me was me being probably one of the stronger wrestlers in my weight class. I mean, it even got to the point when I was wrestling after college that it was more important for me to go stretch than it was for me to go lift weights.
Yeah.
It was just set that, all right, you're strong, buddy. Like, you're strong. Now let's work on some flexibility. So I would say that being very aggressive was something I was good at. It was very important to me to have my opponent have the mindset that after we step off the mat, there's no way they want to step on the mat with me again. You know what I mean? So, like, if it came to being better conditioned or just being meaner, I felt like that had to be me.
Right.
And when it came, like, I think those are two things that you can actually control, like how aggressive you are on the mat, like how tired you get, how your conditioning is. Like, that one's in my control. Like, a lot of things are out of your control. Like, if it's a home and away match, if you're sick, there's a lot of things that you can't control. But the things you can control is how good a shape you're in. So I thought that was very important. Even to this day, I feel pretty confident saying that if I'm going to be in a wrestling match and I lose, it will not be because I was too tired.
Right.
So when it comes to being aggressive and just being mentally tough, I think those are my two best strong suits when it came to wrestling.
Yeah, and I can attest to that after watching you wrestle a heck of a lot of matches in Varsity Gym, and you are pretty strong. For those that don't know, and this is very few people that do know, Trot and I do a routine at every wedding we go to, and it involves him throwing me around, and it makes everybody say, "Wow." We'll just leave that at that. What's
wedding near you, baby? Let's just get it again.
Hey, we need to up our routine. To be honest with you,
I know,
some
man.
new videos. We got to up our game, man.
Yes, we do.
What's one thing that you wish you would have known starting out your college career that you know today? Yeah, that's a good one.
See, this is one of those questions where I wish you'd give me like before the interview starts. Now I actually have to sit here and think about something that.
Oh man, this live. Nope. We want to see that thinking process, man.
All right. I've already thought of it. Right there, I was talking and just rambling, but what I was really doing was thinking of an answer. But I got one. I wish I would have known how easy it was to look at film of other opponents. And you know what? It wouldn't even have to be my opponents. Just learning from other wrestlers. Like, some of my favorite wrestlers, I do not wrestle like them whatsoever. But I had so much fun and enjoyed watching how they wrestled. And I feel like I learned something from them. Like John Smith from Oklahoma State. I wrestle nothing like him. But there's something like the way he fakes and stuff. That's where I learned that from. That's the only thing I took away from that, because I don't hit low singles.
No, you don't.
I'm terrible on top. But like, I learned from the dude. We don't wrestle the same. But all I took away from that was how he faked. And that's all I took away, or at least that's all I used. But man, I wish I would have done that with other wrestlers, even people in college. Like, I watch more like international wrestling now than I ever did when I was competing.
Right.
And like, maybe it's because I'm becoming more of a fan, but I wish I would have known. I wish I would have realized how important that can be to your career now, or when you're competing, versus the things you figure out when you're already done.
I can 100% agree to that. And for those who don't know, we are talking with Austin Trotman on The Grind tonight. Please share us on whatever social media platform you are on. Let's get as many people on here. Go ahead and put some questions in the live feed. I got my phone out, so I'll be looking to see if anybody puts in some questions. I'll let Trotman know who asked the question and what the question is. So go ahead and start putting some stuff in that live feed so we can get some other questions here. But moving on, Trot, what is your most memorable individual match in your college career?
Most memorable in college. Oh, man. Does that have to be one of my matches?
I mean, I ain't talking to anybody but you right now, so I would think you. Yeah.
Oh man, because
But you wanna tell somebody else's match? Go ahead. I mean, yeah, let's hear both.
oh, sorry. I think I got one for both of them.
All right, yeah. Throw it at me.
Actually, I got two matches that were very memorable that weren't me, and one that's memorable that was mine. I'll end with mine. One of them that I thought was super awesome was my senior year, and I don't remember the opponents, but I do remember they were my teammates. Kyle Blevins' last match at Chattanooga to win the Southern Conference dual team or whatever. Watching him wrestle, like it was in 2012, and what was funny is App State, we had bust in some fans, right, into the Chattanooga gym. And the way they sit their gym at the time was everybody sat on one side, right? And our massive fan base sat right in the middle. Which I thought that was hilarious. It was like they just took the best seats and just sat right in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And then we just dominated. I mean, it came down to the last match, man, but I feel like we dominated, right? And when Kyle won that last match to like secure that win, and seeing the entire fan, like all the fans just getting super hyped, all my teammates were just getting super happy, bro, I will remember that forever. That was such an awesome moment, right? That was such a good moment.
I was one of those fans sitting in the middle. I think that was one of my redshirt years. And I remember watching that match, and that was an awesome duel.
Was that not a great feeling,
dude, that was awesome.
Yeah. The next one, and it's kind of beat up because I didn't actually see the match. But it was the same year. The Southern Conference was at Chattanooga that year, and Kyle Blevins and I were sitting in the back of the Chattanooga wrestling room, just chilling, not watching any matches, getting ready for our matches, right? Talking. And Tony Gravely, the guy he wrestled, I don't believe he had beaten the entire year. I'm pretty sure he had lost to him that year. And then we didn't get to watch the match. Kyle and I were just chilling. Didn't get to watch the match. And then Tony comes into the wrestling room, and I'm just like, Tony, you win? And he's just so happy. Like, it was just three of us in there, but he was so happy. And I was like, yeah, he beat him. And he accomplished something, man. Like,
yeah.
Like, they dropped this program. He went to Chattanooga to wrestle, and then lost to Tony Gravely. Like, Tony made a statement, and I didn't get to see it, but seeing that dude so happy after getting that win and qualifying for nationals, and it was just three of us. There's nobody really around.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's so hyped, man. That was so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good year. I mean, we had a bunch of guys win it. A bunch of guys go to the NCAAs that year. That was a heck of a year, that's for sure. Yeah. Did you so those are your two matches. Did you got any individual matches that stand out on your end while you were wrestling? Give us your number one when you think back at your college career. What individual match do you think about that's like, man, that was an awesome match? I'll never forget that.
Just like I was saying earlier, I got two of those, but I'll say the one that I definitely remember, and you probably already know what it is. It's the quarterfinal match against Joe LeBlanc from Wyoming, my 2012 year.
Yeah.
So basically, they call that the All-American round. Like, if you're on the winning side of the bracket in the quarterfinals, and then you win their match in the quarterfinals, you have become an All-American.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he wiped the floor with me like 4 months earlier at Vegas or Reno. What tournament we were?
I'll be honest, I do not know. I do not know what tournament that was, but
it was a massacre. Like, it wasn't me. I don't know what happened. Oh, let's not talk about that one. Let's not talk about that one.
Let's talk about the one you won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, what?
Go ahead. You finish.
So I go into the match, and I didn't really remember wrestling him until I saw him, right when I walked in the mat. Like, oh yeah, this guy, right? And then, and it's not even that I remember how if I wrestled that well, I just remember like, all right, if I just keep shooting, I'm going to win. That was my mindset going in. If I just keep shooting, I'll win. Just keep shooting, I'll win. And like there was like, I think I got 2 or 3 takedowns in the first period, and one of which, I mean, as soon as he cut and turned, I was already back in on his legs. I was like, just keep doing this and you'll win.
And that is
happening.
very true. I was watching the NCAAs that year and specifically remember that match. And I don't know how many times you took him down in the first period, but it was a lot. And Sava Costas just chimed in here, and he said that the tournament that LeBlanc beat you at was Reno. So I guess Sava knows what tournament that was. Yeah, but that was a heck of a match. That was a heck of a match and a heck of a run too. What was your most memorable duel match? Kind of think you might have already hinted at it, but what's your most memorable duel?
Yeah, I still think it was that year, my senior year, the 2012 year when we wrestled Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Because it like solidified us as the conference champs that year. So I think we've wrestled better as a team on different duel matches, but I think it was just all the emotion that was just dumped into that one duel match. It just made that one so epic, man. Like,
yeah,
so fun to be a part of. I was glad I was part of the team on that one, man. That was great.
That was a good duel, and we did bring some buses down, got there early, and parked it right in the middle of their bench. I loved that.
Straight disrespectful, man. Just sat in the middle of the stand. That was awesome.
All right, we got another question here. He chimed in last week, but he's got another question. It's Christian Beach, a former wrestler. What's your funniest JMB story?
Like, we got to keep it PG on here, or how does this work?
Yes, let's keep it PG.
Oh, man.
I still live in Boone, Trot. Come on, man.
My favorite one. Oh, man. I might need some help on this one. Because I'm trying to think, is it like something he did that was funny or something that we did that was messed up and he got mad at us? Like, I don't know.
Hey, let it fly, man. Throw it in there.
Okay, let me think here. All right, this one, I'm going to be pushing the limits on this one, but I'm going to let it happen.
Let it fly.
All right. So, one year, this is before your time, Dom. It was my freshman year. I don't know if I should say this. Anyway, our freshman year, we had 6 a.m. workouts on a Friday, and they're at 6 a.m. on Friday on purpose. That's all I'll say. All right. So we had these things called hippo highways, which is basically after the lift, we would go into the stadium and we do a certain number of stadium runs on one side, run around the back of the stadium, and then do some on the other side and finish up with a 400, right? So that's the hippo highway. So let me back up a little bit. We go to 6 a.m. workouts, and man, if it was not one of the best workouts in that gym that we had ever had. It was before, they had the big stadium now. It was the other one, the smaller one, right? It was one of the best workouts we've ever had. And then we get out and run the hippo highway, and Bentley said something along the lines of, I don't get how you guys can make this entire place smell like a brewery and still run so well. Like, I don't get how you can do that. It was hilarious.
I tell you what, man. That's one thing I didn't figure out when I was coaching for 3 years is how they can smell that. I still haven't figured that out.
Oh man. And I feel like everybody on the team has their own variation of how they do and how they make fun of Bentley. I heard his voice or how he coaches or something, but that one always sticks out to me. He was like, how can you do this? Because it was a good run, man. Everybody was just busting their butts, man.
But you guys done smell like a brewery, huh?
Oh, rough. It was so rough.
All right, moving on. Thanks, Beach. I'm gonna have to kick you out of here from here on out. All right, what's your favorite part about Boone outside of college wrestling? Just getting into the university. What's a fondest memory or your favorite part about Boone in the high country up here?
Oh, that's an easy one, man. The hiking or being outdoors, more specifically, some of the water holes. Tennessee's right down the street. I mean, there's waterfalls you can go jumping off of. There's places you can hike. I don't do much mountain biking, but man, if I was in Boone, I know I would be doing it. Like, how can you not want to be a part of that? Like, it's amazing. And I tell you what, man, it was hard to leave because Boone is so awesome.
Always is. I just learned a new term too. It's called the boonerang. People leave and then they come right back.
Oh, there are dad jokes and bad jokes, and you're riding a unicycle down the middle, Dom.
That wasn't a joke. That's what people call it. When you leave for a certain amount of time.
I get it.
And then you come back. You know what a boonerang. Okay?
Right. No. Again, I get it. It's just like,
all right.
Yeah. Next question.
I was waiting for you to say something else. Again, for those that are just getting here, this is Austin Trotman doing the behind the mat with Trotty, aka Trotty. Go ahead and share us on whatever social media platform you're on. If you got questions, put them in the live chat. Let's get some more interaction going here. Moving on from the Boonerang, where was your favorite place that you lived in Boone? Favorite place, whether it was an apartment, house. Tell us about your favorite spot, because a lot of people bounce around from the dorms to apartments to houses. Fill us in, man. What's your favorate spot?
All right,
I got the answer to this.
I got two.
No. All right, let's do two.
Come on, man. I lived there for like 7 years. You can't just.
All right, give me the two I know you're going to say. Go ahead.
All right, so you know where Red Onion Cafe is? My apartment was right behind Red Onion Cafe, which is super close to everything. I just leave it at that. It's super close to everything, to campus, to everything, right? But that first year out of college, there was this road called Lynn Hill Road, and that's when we were roomies. Bro, if that was not one of the best times I had in Boone, because it was right when I graduated, but I was still competing, right? So I had all of the fun things to Boone and none of the things that was stressing me out. Like,
right.
Like, I was competing, I was traveling literally across the world, and I was still living in Boone, but I didn't have to go to class. Man, and it was all at that house, man. That was a good time. That was a great year.
Yes, it was. And that view we had at that house.
Oh my goodness, it just overlooked Grandfather Mountain. Like, I think about that sometimes, man. Yeah, and it was just right on that hill. Look on the backyard, just overlooked everything. That was awesome.
Yeah, and those that don't know, so that was a 3-bedroom house, and Trot's bedroom was actually, you had to walk outside, and he was in a separate, tiny kind of studio type apartment, but it was all part of the same property. And then that place flooded, and he moved all his stuff into our living room, sleeping on the couch for the remainder of our lease, which wasn't a good lease, let's be honest. Goodness,
man. Oh, he never fixed that, but
no, he never fixed that.
We were ride or dies on that couch. It was John, and we had he had a perfectly good bedroom, but he slept on the couch. I mean, we had two couches. So he slept on one couch, I slept on the other couch. But man, like, I was completely content with it. I was so content with living on a couch in the living room with two other roommates who had bedrooms. That didn't bother me one bit. It was great, man.
Yeah. I know that. And for those that don't know, Trot would prefer a couch over a bed most times. So if you didn't know that about him, you now know.
Still pretty accurate. And I don't know why. But.
All right, man. Well, let's get back into some other questions here. So post-college wrestling, you wrestled internationally and had some success and was sponsored and whatnot. Tell us about your international career about as an Olympic hopeful. Give us some insight on that.
Yeah, man. So I took third at nationals my senior year, and before I even walked off the mat, Bentley was telling me, "You're not done wrestling," and kind of in the back of my head, I kind of knew that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of know, like, this can't be it, right? This can't be it. So before I even graduated, I had an idea that I was probably going to keep wrestling. So I did, right? So graduated. I think 2 weeks went by, and I moved out to Colorado Springs for about 6 weeks, and I trained out there. Came back. My first international tournament was in New York, the NYAC tournament.
Yep.
And I won it, right? So when I won it, I picked up a sponsor, Titan Mercury Wrestling Club, TMWC. And that's what got me, like, bumped into, like, the Olympic cycle, you know, the 4-year training cycle. I got a sponsor, so now I got somebody who's willing to take me on trips around the world. I went to Belarus. Didn't do good. I don't want to talk about that tournament. That tournament stunk. I went to Russia a couple times. Man, I went to Egypt. I went to Germany. I've been to France.
Been all over, man.
Been to South America. I mean, like, I would not have had that opportunity with any other job, to my knowledge. So, man, it's been so fun just being able to do that. Like, I got to compete and I got to travel. I mean, come on, man. Like, it was such a fun time. It was such a fun time. And then that's the good thing is, I think because I did have such a late start wrestling, maybe I didn't start peaking until after I got out of college. So that was an opportunity for me to get better, you know? Like, I got done wrestling in college and was like, all right, let's keep doing this. And I think I still was getting better. And wrestling after college gave me an opportunity to see how good I really could become, you know? So that was the biggest fun part about that was still getting better and seeing that actually play out, you know, winning matches internationally.
Yeah. And that's wrestling internationally. It's a different style of wrestling than Division I college wrestling called freestyle. So, you know, you got a little transition going from folk style, which is college wrestling, into freestyle. Give us some insight on that. What was that transition like? I know most college teams, and especially App State, we would train freestyle in the summer. But give us some insight on that transition and how you handled it.
Yeah, so back earlier when we were talking about, you know, my style of wrestling or whatever, and I said aggressive, or I said something like that, right?
Aggressive and strong
Very
were your
strong,
two words.
Yeah. I think that played into my freestyle career very well. You know, so like a big difference in folk style versus freestyle, or collegiate versus freestyle, when you are taking someone down and you go out of bounds in collegiate wrestling, there's potentially no points going to be given right there. Whereas if you do that in the freestyle level, they're going to reward the more aggressive wrestler.
Right.
So if you don't get the takedown, but you were able to get to the legs and drive them out of bounds, okay, let's give that person a point. Or if you go completely out of bounds, but you still get the takedown, all right, let's give that person 2 points. Or if you get really, really out of control and take them all the way to their back, out of bounds, they're still going to give you 4 points. You know, so that it helps. I feel like it helps out Americans altogether, to be honest. I think it helped us out a lot knowing that if you are pushing the pace and like being in someone's face all the time, I feel like that is something that wrestlers outside the U.S. aren't really used to. So I think it really helped Americans. It really helped the way my style of wrestling, you know, being able to push the pace and being able to, you know, explode and run your feet through your shots. And, you know, sometimes that 30-foot ring's not enough space, and you can keep running and get those points. And I think that was, you know, very beneficial for me. I think it played into my style of wrestling. And I think because I didn't make the world team. I didn't make the Olympic team, but I felt like I enjoyed my international career much more than I did my collegiate career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
and it makes that makes sense. And for,
like,
for those that haven't seen Trot wrestle, I mean his number one move on his feet's a blast double leg, head right in your chest, and you hit that in a freestyle match, someone goes right to their back, you're going to be stacking up some points. So yeah, I can see how it favored your style of wrestling for sure.
it was great, man. And like I was saying earlier, I really don't think, as far as accolades, there's not as many in the freestyle world. I wrestled after college from 2012 to 2017. I don't have as many medals. I didn't have as many wins. But man, it was something different about that. Like, and it was a job at that point. I was getting paid to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that might have changed a little bit too. I think the my mindset might have been a little bit different. I loved it, man, and it wasn't like I wanted to stop wrestling. I probably could continue wrestling if I wanted to, but I think it was more of a mental thing. It was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to do this just because I'm capable of doing it. I want to do it because I know I can win. I know I can be an Olympic champ. And I think I started to realize that's not going to happen. And then the second you start thinking that, that's it,
Yeah.
That's it. So I got out, and I'm okay with that.
Well, heck yeah, man. And again, this is Austin Trotman here, App State alum, wrestling alum. Go ahead and share this video, put some questions in the feed. Trot, what are you doing now for work?
Yeah, man. So I've always been a really big fan of carpentry, woodworking, that kind of thing. I built my own bed frame, when I was in college, so that was fun. And it got to the point where I think I thought I could start doing this on my own. So I started getting into woodworking. So as of right now, I am a cabinet maker, woodworker. I have my own company, Trotty's Custom Carpentry. For all your table, shelves, bed frame needs, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz.
Put the plug in, man.
Yeah, right. So, man, and it's funny, like, not that it relates to wrestling at all, but there's something about being responsible for what happens on your own that I have a lot of respect for that. Like, maybe that's why I don't do many team sports. Wrestling is kind of like, was that one for me? You got a team, you got to be accountable for other people on your team. But like, when you step out on the mat, it's just you and just one other person. And if something goes wrong, you can't be like, well, somebody didn't pass me the ball or block for me, right? It's because you didn't block for yourself. And I kind of feel that same way in the job I have now. Like, as extroverted as I am, and I believe that I am, I think I've made it pretty obvious. I love being there by myself working on something. It's the very fine details that I enjoy. I didn't expect to do this when I was in college, man. It was a hobby. I worked at an antique shop, to pay some bills. But and here I am making those. I want my things to be antiques, lasting 200, 300 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I do my own thing, but as of right now, I'm not only am I doing my own thing, I'm also working at a wood shop too, called the Artisan Studio. Now, that's where my steady paycheck comes in, right? Because I'm there every week. But I got my side hustle. I got the thing that makes me some money too. My business, Trotty's Custom Carpentry, and the ultimate goal is to have my own shop, my own name, my own line of furniture that I'm putting out. Hopefully, just tables and bed frames.
Yep.
That's my favorite thing to build. But you need a kitchen built, man. Get at me, man. Let me know.
Yeah, and those don't know, Trotty's Custom Carpentry. I've seen some of his work. Go check him out on Instagram. Makes some pretty cool stuff, tables and whatnot. So we're going to move on here. We're going to go to the scuffle. These are quick fire questions, Trotty.
Oh, dip. We in the scuffle.
Hey, what does this remind you of? And any wrestler tuning in that wrestled in the scuffle will know. Let's scuffle. You remember that guy? The announcer at Chattanooga? He'd say that like 500 times a tournament.
Yeah, he had a really chirpy voice. I don't know his name, but I know that.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Question 1. I know the answer to this.
Oh, snap.
Top, bottom, or neutral?
Neutral.
Yeah, I know. Ain't going to be top or bottom.
Neutral.
All right. Breakfast or dinner?
Ooh, breakfast. Easy. Pancakes, baby. What's up?
Yeah. All right. Kind of getting maybe a little harder here. Howard's Knob twice, back to back,
No.
or moving mats for camps?
Pass.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Oh, my God.
That's a good one.
All right. Hold on a second. Let me finish. Is it putting mats down or putting them up? Like picking them up? Is it before or after camp?
It's just one of the days. You pick your day.
All right. If it's after camp, yeah, I'm doing mats.
Then you're going to do a whole day of moving mats, going out to Allegheny or Ash, and
we're putting them back, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Then yeah, I would do that. Over Howard's Knob twice.
This is back in your day when those easy roll-ups weren't around. These are 3-section mats.
It was my understanding that my answer stood, and you're still trying to make me change.
All right, then. Makes sense. You're a terrible runner. Let's move on. Shoot, that running Howard's Knob twice might take just as long. All right, McDonald's or Bojangles?
Bojangles, baby.
What's your favorite meal at Bojangles in the morning?
Oh, they don't serve it, but you can make it, baby. It's called a chicken skin biscuit.
Yeah. All right, this is a good one here. This is a good one. And wrestlers now, they don't know about this. So we're going to have to fill them in.
Let me know.
Would you rather play handball or trash can ball?
Woo! Trash can, baby.
All right, fill them in. Fill everybody in on what trash can ball is.
We're talking about in the wrestling room, trash can ball, right? Okay.
Correct.
So, pretty self-explanatory. Got 2 trash cans or goals.
Well said.
And you put them on either side of the mat. And like handball rules, right? Like
basically.
3 steps. Yeah.
Yep.
Take 3 steps, and you got to pass it. You got your teammates right there, and you got to think of it kind of like a goal, and then there's like a perimeter, like 3 or 4 feet that you can't step in there, and that's your goal. And you try to get this ball into your trash can. And here's the thing. I don't think that game was made to be like a very aggressive game. Like, I think it's supposed to be played like basketball, like you block, but you don't really like, you know what I'm saying? We're wrestlers, maybe. So it's a pretty aggressive game.
Very aggressive game.
It's amazing. Hey, you remember were you there when Matt Callahan like almost ripped his ear off playing trash can ball?
I was gonna bring it up if you did it. This was back in the day before we had our renovations to the wrestling room, and there was a door up into the conditioning area. It was like up on a platform, and the door would open out into the wrestling room. And it wasn't the best door, so it came open one time, and Matt's over here running for it and just smacks his ear on the side of the door, and it's just hanging off.
Oh.
But what people don't know, too, tell them about the ball we used.
Was it like a T-shirt or some trash? What was
it? Was a T-shirt wrapped with tape, so it was a rock.
Yeah, that's right. It was a rock.
and you got people chucking this thing, trying to get it in the trash can. Oh
my goodness.
All right, here we go.
All right, let's get it.
Next one. I think I know the answer to this. Would you rather hit Sunrise in the morning or Dirty Murphs in the afternoon?
Sunrise, man. That's got to be Sunrise.
Sunrise Grill, best breakfast spot at Boone, yeah?
I sometimes I dream about that place when I'm about to wake up. I go for some Sunrise.
And for those who don't know, Dirty Murphs is now Ransom.
Murph is not even there anymore.
It ain't. Murphy's ain't there no more. But it was called Dirty Murphs, and it was called that for a reason. All right, moving on. 6 a.m. preseason workouts or 6 a.m. postseason workouts? So would you rather do the Monday, you got me?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Which one
Much rather do the preseason, baby.
Preseason, Monday, Fridays?
If it's 6 a.m., yeah.
Well, which for you, I think when you first started was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm okay. No, it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay, yeah, close enough.
Anyway, yes.
All right, next one. Compression Falls in Tennessee
Oh,
or Snake Pit?
oh, compression, baby.
Yeah,
It was
you
work.
can't beat,
It was a little
can't beat
track.
a day at the falls.
Yeah, the falls is my. I dream about that place all the time. That's one of the reasons I want to go back to Boone, just to visit there.
Hit that boomerang, right? Anyway.
That boner rang.
All right, here's a good one. All right, Wednesday afternoon conditioning or Monday, Friday morning conditioning?
Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, hit the longer runs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, here's the next one. Would you rather hit Char on Thursday night or Palucci's on Friday?
Oh, Poochies! I forgot about Poochies. Is that still there? That's not
Heck
still
no,
there.
it's
not
just
even Char
it's a
anymore,
grass.
is it?
It's grass. It ain't even. There's no building there now, man.
Oh man!
Dang, how long's it been since you've been back to Boone?
I forgot, man. You said Palucci's, and that just got me thinking about other times, man. Oh,
All right, well, give me an answer, man. Char on Thursday night or Palucci's on Friday?
I think I gave you my answer, man. Palucci's.
Yeah.
Yo, Saba's in this, right? Is he listening? We went there after his wedding. Of course he likes that place. I like that place too.
I don't know, Saba. Go ahead and chime in the chat room here, and I'll give Trot an update
He was there, man.
with
I
a
was there.
response. I think I remember that.
That was such a fun place.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I mean, Char was fun too. Don't get me wrong.
They both were pretty fun.
If I have to scuffle an answer for you, I think I'll choose Poochie's.
Oopsies. All right, then. All right. Okay, if you had to do one or the other tomorrow, you had to pick one or the other, would you rather go through a session of wrestling camps again? When I say session, end of June all the way through the end of July, or would you rather do another wrestling season?
A wrestling season.
Wrestling season instead of wrestling camps.
Yeah.
Roger that. Yeah, wrestling camps for App State are some of the biggest camps in the country, and they are very strenuous on the college student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Again, we got about 10 or so minutes left, and this is Austin Trotman. Put some chats in. Saba just replied. He said, yeah, man, Palucci's is gone, so he's still tuned in. Yeah, go ahead, share the video. We got about 10 minutes left. Put some final questions in the chat if you'd like. But moving on, Trot, what's one thing you hope people remember for you while your time wrestling at App?
Something they remember about me?
What's one thing you hope people remember? Kind of like a impact you made while here.
Yo, so I think I figured it out. I feel like even from in high school to being in college, being wrestling after college, and even the job I have now, I have always seemed to somehow fit into some sort of leadership position, right? So I hope that people will remember me as a good captain or a good leader. Well
said. I was a part of your leadership for a couple of years, and I'll say that's about spot on. Let's go ahead and put some more plugs in here before we wrap things up. Don't you have your first professional fight coming up? Give us some info on that.
Yeah, man. I can't believe it's happening, bro. I've been talking about it. I've been talking like I'm not going to do this for years. And I moved down to Wilmington, started coaching a UFC fighter, Derek Brunson. Let's get it. I help out at his gym. I'm his wrestling coach. And I can't believe it, man. I've been training this dude for 2.5 years, and sure enough, he talked me into fighting.
And for those who don't know, Derek's is a top contender in the UFC, so he's a pretty well-known fighter. And Trot's got his first professional fight coming up, skipping amateur, going right to pro.
Oh, right to the big leagues. Well, the leagues.
The league, the leagues that hold professional fights. Give us the info, man. Where's it at? What time? What day? Give us some more. Give us the scoop.
Yeah, so it's in South Carolina. It's going to be in Myrtle Beach. Look up Battlegrounds 4 if you're looking to try to make it down there. The jiu-jitsu matches start at 1. The fights start at 4. I think I'm the third fight at middleweight, 185 pounds. See if I can, get my Ali on, put a little wrestling, put that thing on it, you know what I'm saying? I never fought before, but I've always been a big fan, and it's to the point now where if I don't do it now, I am never going to. So as of right now, get my feet wet.
Let it fly.
Let it fly. You know what I'm saying?
Let's see that double leg again. Ain't no secrets.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody who knows that I'll be fighting knows exactly what I'll be trying to do. So I'm trying to get it to the ground, right? But I tell you what, though, it's been so fun working with my hands. I mean, like, I missed that grind. Oh, the grind. What's that? Are we on right now, the grind? I missed the grind.
You done figured out why the show is called The Grind, Trot.
Yeah, man. I miss it, man. And so it's been fun training and, like, getting back into that competitive mindset and started eating right and working out right. I missed that, and now I've been starting to do it, and it feels great. Feels good. Like I missed that. I don't miss the cutting weight, but everything else, man, everything else has been pretty fun.
I think most people would say the same. Hey, we got a question from Coach John Mark Bentley.
What's up?
He says, ask Trotman to recount a time when he had to train or compete through an injury and his mindset while doing so.
Oh my goodness. You ever hear people say things like, well, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I don't know why this is a southern accent there, but yo, I don't know if there has ever been a time, like an important match, where there was not something that was wrong. Something, just always something, right? Red shirt, this was my fourth year, I think. Red shirt junior year, I feel like that was like a potential year for me to All-American. I think so. I didn't. Rib injury, bro. Like, I had a rib injury. I messed up something, but I was still expected to compete,
Yep.
Like, everybody's heard this before. Are you hurt or are you injured, right? Are you hurt or you injured? So, like, there's been plenty of times where I've been hurt and had to compete, and it's like, yo, if you can't compete, then you're injured. So walk off the mat, right? But most of the times you're hurt. And if you're hurt, most people don't really care to hear about it. So go out there and get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to feel like crap. It's going to happen. Like owning your own business. Like, if you don't want to work, yeah, you can sleep in. But, do you want to eat next week? Like, you're going to have to learn how to compete when you're hurt. Like, it's a part of the grind. It's a part of life. Like, you're not going to be perfect. And I think it's important to say that if you're waiting until you feel good to wrestle better, or you're waiting until you get to that mountaintop moment of your career, like, you may be waiting too long. Like, you should be wrestling like this is potentially the last match that you are ever going to have, right? Like, you're going to have injuries. It's just the way it is, and you have to learn how to fight through it. And you know what? And even if you're injured, you might have to learn how to fight through it. But I think there's a huge difference between being hurt, which is not that big a deal, and being injured. And you got to have to learn how to fight through it. It has to happen. And I would even relate that to be more wrestling specific, all those people who are cutting weight. You know what Reese Humphrey is?
Yep.
He is one of my favorite quotes he's ever said. He said, here's my thing about cutting weight. I don't care. Your opponent definitely doesn't care. Stop complaining about it. That's the end of the quote. But isn't that cool, though?
Couldn't have said that any better. And heck, you couldn't answer the question any better.
Like, dude, You pick one of the toughest sports, arguably the toughest sport. All right. I mean, granted, you're not getting punched in the face in wrestling, but like I feel like the training is way more tougher, more tougher, more tougher, more tougher. It's more tougher as a wrestler. I mean, yo, there's a reason why majority of the people in the UFC who are champs were wrestlers. I think there's a reason for that.
Direct correlation, that's for sure.
I think, it's like if you like philosophy, the wrestling's the foundation, right? It's the foundation. You got to know it. You have to learn it. All right? I feel like people who choose to wrestle are just properly more equipped to handle things when they get tougher. And I know that sounds biased, and if you didn't wrestle, it's okay. We love you too, but I just think we're tougher.
I mean,
man, can't help it.
A lot of people are on the same page, even those that just tried out for a few years. They know. They know, man, and you couldn't have said it any better. I mean, we've how many times we heard Coach Bentley say, sports just a lot like life. You can have bumps in the road, just got to keep moving through. So,
and I mean, I know there's other sports. I'm not clowning on any other sports, but I think that is the most relatable thing. I think wrestling is the most relatable sport to life. Like, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have a lot of downs, but man, like, it's you against a nameless, faceless person. And if you're going to get up and keep fighting, it's your choice. But you can lay down. You can do that.
Yep.
And walk away from it. You can do that. But it's going to take a lot of will to get back up, man. And I wrestling will forever be in my heart. It's the best.
Heck yeah, man. Well said. Well said. Good answer to that question. Trot, how can people find you on social media? What's your tag, man?
Yeah, on Instagram, Twitter, I go by Uncle Trotty. You're just going to see a bunch of videos of either skateboarding or me saying something funny or some philosophy quotes. What else do I do? Is that about it? Dance moves? Oof.
Dance moves. You really, unless you only post stuff that makes you look cool, so.
Yeah. Yeah, like special handshakes. I'm talking. I don't know. Yeah.
So Uncle Trotty, at Uncle Trotty. Give him a follow on Instagram, Twitter. Keep up with him on his first fight this weekend. For those that don't know, we just started a Patreon for The Grind. Ooh. Our site is live. It will be put in the live chat link here below. Give it a click. Go ahead and sign up. We've got different levels. These videos will eventually be available for those who are Patreons. That being said, follow us on all major social media networks at App State Grind. Subscribe on YouTube. Share the video. Trot, we can't thank you enough for coming on tonight, especially after a busy day, busy training session. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your evening.
Yes, sir. Woo!
Take care.
This episode of The Grind is proudly sponsored by Mountaineer Works. Mountaineer Works, owned and operated by Appalachian State alum and athletics photographer Chad W. Mitchell. Chad designs and builds officially licensed, unique cornhole board sets, and today I give my all plaques that will surely rock your tailgate, party, backyard barbecue, office, or creative space. They're sculptured smooth in the wood lab, fire coated at over 3,000 degrees, and paint dyed in the Cornhole Conservatory to complement their one-of-a-kind grain, then App State branded. The best part is you choose from a set of pre-approved color layouts and App State logos to personally design your cornhole boards, and today I give my all plaque. Mix it up or match it up, you can't go wrong. Show your Mountaineer pride as these make solid gifts for deserving folks. Find Mountaineer Works on Facebook and Instagram to place your order or ask a question.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.